The NBA has a Quentin Grimes problem, and it's the kind of problem that sneaks up on you, one play at a time, until suddenly it can no longer be ignored. Like a quiet storm brewing on the horizon, Grimes has steadily emerged as one of the league's most intriguing young players. He isn't the kind of name that immediately dominates headlines or trends on social media, but for those paying attention, he's a player who has started to demand respect. Opposing coaches, analysts, and fans alike are beginning to realize that the 6.5 inches shooting guard for the Mavericks is far more than just a role player. He's a two-way force who can change the course of games in ways that aren't always obvious at first glance. And that's exactly what makes him such a problem. Quentin Grimes didn't arrive in the NBA with the same fanfare as some of his peers. He wasn't a top lottery pick or a name that dominated NCAAs, but his journey speaks volumes about his resilience and determination. After starting his college career at Kansas and transferring to Houston, Grimes found his footing as a player who could do a bit of everything: score, defend, and make plays when it mattered most. His collegiate performance was solid, but it wasn't until the Mavericks selected him with the 25th overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft that the true potential of Quentin Grimes began to unfold. Now, just a couple of seasons into his NBA career, he's proving to be one of the most valuable pieces in New York's lineup. The question is, how long can the league ignore what he's becoming? What makes Quentin Grimes such a problem for the NBA is his versatility. In a league increasingly dominated by specialization, Grimes defies the mold. Need someone to knock down clutch three-pointers? Grimes is your guy. Want a defender who can switch seamlessly onto multiple positions and disrupt offensive schemes? Grimes can handle that too. His ability to contribute on both ends of the floor makes him an invaluable asset to a Mavericks team trying to cement itself as a contender in the Eastern Conference. He's not just filling a role, he's elevating the play of those around him. For many fans, the first glimpse of Grimes' potential came during his breakout performances in the 2022-2023 season. As injuries created opportunities for more minutes, Grimes made the most of his chances. He showcased an impressive shooting stroke, particularly from beyond the arc, where he's become one of the Mavericks' most reliable snipers. But it's not just the shooting, it's how he gets his shots. And Grimes moves without the ball like a seasoned veteran, finding open spaces and creating opportunities for his teammates to feed him in rhythm. His confidence in taking big shots, even in high-pressure moments, has started to turn heads around the league. Defensively, Grimes is the kind of player every coach dreams of. He's relentless, disciplined, and intelligent, with the kind of lateral quickness that allows him to stay in front of some of the league's most dynamic scorers. Whether he's tasked with guarding a speedy point guard or a physical wing, Grimes takes on the challenge with the same level of intensity. In an era where perimeter defense is at a premium, his ability to lock down opponents makes him a nightmare matchup. Opposing stars have started to notice too. It's not uncommon to see Grimes disrupt a star player's rhythm, forcing turnovers or contested shots that would have otherwise been easy buckets. He's a problem that can't be solved by a simple screen or offensive adjustment. He's everywhere you don't want him to be. What's truly fascinating about Quentin Grimes is that he seems to thrive in the shadows. On a team with bigger names like Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and R.J. Barrett, it would be easy for someone like Grimes to fade into the background. Instead, he's carved out a role that makes him indispensable. He's not trying to be the star of the show, but his impact is undeniable. His teammates know it, his coaches know it, and now the league is starting to figure it out too. For the Mavericks, he's the kind of player who embodies everything they're trying to build: a tough, gritty team-first competitor who's willing to do whatever it takes to win. As the 2023-2024 season unfolds, the NBA's Quentin Grimes problem is only going to grow. His stats might not always jump off the page, but anyone who watches him play can see that he's a game changer. Whether it's hitting a crucial three in crunch time, forcing a turnover that leads to a fast break, or simply making the right basketball play at the right moment, Grimes has a knack for being in the thick of the action when it matters most. And the scary part? He's only getting better. At just 23 years old, Grimes is still developing, still learning the nuances of the NBA game. If he's this good now, imagine what he could be in another 2 or 3 seasons. The league should take note. The days of overlooking Quentin Grimes are coming to an end. He may not be a household name yet, but he's well on his way. The Mavericks know what they have in him, and they're not about to let the rest of the league take him lightly. For opponents, game planning for Grimes has become a necessity. He's the kind of player who can disrupt even the most well-oiled offenses and exploit the smallest defensive lapses. He doesn't just play basketball, he plays winning basketball, and that's what makes him such a valuable asset. As Grimes continues to rise, it raises an interesting question about the league's future. Players like him, who can excel in multiple areas without necessarily needing to be the center of attention, are becoming increasingly valuable. It's not just about scoring points or racking up stats, it's about making winning plays. Grimes is a perfect example of this new breed of player, someone who prioritizes team success over personal glory. And as the Mavericks continue to lean on him in crucial moments, it's becoming clear that Grimes has the potential to be a cornerstone of their franchise for years to come. Off the court, Grimes is just as intriguing. He carries himself with a quiet confidence, a calm demeanor that belies the fire he plays with on the hardwood. He's not one to seek out the spotlight, but his work ethic and dedication to improving his game speak volumes. Teammates and coaches alike rave about his attitude and approach to the game. In a league full of egos and drama, Grimes is a refreshing presence, focused, humble, and committed to the grind. The NBA has seen players like Grimes before, guys who fly under the radar for a while before exploding onto the scene. But what makes Grimes different is the way he's doing it. He's not forcing his way into the conversation with flashy plays or controversial headlines. He's earning it with hard work, consistency, and a style of play that's impossible to ignore. He's the kind of player who wins over fans one game at a time, slowly but surely building a reputation as one of the league's most reliable and impactful players. The NBA has a Quentin Grimes problem, and it's a problem that's not going away anytime soon. Whether he's flying under the radar or stepping into the spotlight, Grimes is proving that he belongs in the conversation with some of the best young talents in the league. His combination of skill, effort, and basketball IQ makes him a player that teams hate to play against and fans love to root for. As he continues to grow and evolve, one thing is clear: Quentin Grimes is here to stay, and the NBA better get used to it.
On the court, who was your role model growing up? And then how does it feel now to be maybe playing against one of these big players and also having become a role model for young generations?
Yeah, I would say my role model would probably be like my dad. He gave me a lot of influences. Everybody talks about my jumper. He was really the main one that told me how to get high on my release, make sure I get a lot of lift. So he was the one that kind of really got like sixth grade, really kind of laid my foundation for my jump shot. So he's been teaching me the game. He'll call me after every game, telling me what I did bad, what I did wrong. So he doesn't sugarcoat anything. So I love him for that. So definitely my dad. And just kind of being a role model for younger kids. Like I feel like for kids growing up, is to not worry about if you can shoot like the worst shots you have a bad game, to worry about what you can control. That's how hard you go out there on the court. Every time you step on the floor, don't worry about you missing shots, turnovers. I feel like it's kind of what helped me last year. Not worrying about anything, just going out there and playing, and with the game kind of tell me what I get to do out there. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting comfortable with every game. I feel like every game I just feel like I just show more what I can do offensively, just getting more freedom from tips, make a mistake. He has a lot of trust when you leave me in there and kind of just like work through it and figure that out. But I'm not gonna possibly make the same mistake twice. So I feel like that's also a common issue when you in the game. I have to make a mistake. So I feel like every time I step on the court, I get more and more confident in my game.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Quentin Grimes' rise in the NBA. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories about the league's most exciting players, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with fellow basketball fans, and subscribe to our channel. Who do you think is the most underrated player in the league right now? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, stay tuned for more basketball insights, highlights, and stories that keep you connected to the game you love.